Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You've landed on planet 412. I'll be your captain of sorts as we navigate this strange, cryptid-filled world. Join me on the quest for truth, through the strange, mysterious, and supernatural. This is Planet 412.
Two weeks in a row, guys. We have gremlins, but welcome to Planet 412. Hold on here a second, everybody, okay? I know you hear me there. I have a little issue here. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to get this taken care of. I don't know why it is doing double here, but I'm very upset about it. I don't get what's going on here. Um, I might have to go back out and restart everybody. I'm very upset about this. I'm really sorry. Maybe this works. Let's see here. I'm getting double audio on my side. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. Okay, I did not fix it. So I'm what I have right now is I have a ghost voice going on in the background, and I don't understand why. Um, yeah, I did. Okay, hello. All right, so I don't understand why the speaker is coming in the background of. I must have YouTube going through somewhere else. And everybody, I want to apologize for what's going on here. If it sounds like it's the same normal what's going on, it is not going that way for me right now. So everybody in the chat, do you hear two of me talking right now? I'm sorry. I've never had this happen to me before. I'm sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back out everybody. Give me 1 second here, and we'll see by if by me going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back out everybody. I hear it now. It's your telephone. Turn your phone all the way. My phone's not on. Oh no. I hear it now. My phone's not on. All right. Hopefully that fixed what was going on. Um, so hold on 1 sec. I'm not hearing anything in the background. I think I fixed it, everybody. Oh my God. So 2 weeks in a row, like I said, the gremlins are running wild. So what I found out is I had in the background, I had my studio for YouTube up, and it had activated that, and I had shut it off. So I'm not real big of a fan on Eve Mux right now, everybody. But at least things are going on right now the right way. I'm immensely sorry and extremely embarrassed. So we're going to start, everyone. Tonight is a great show. We have a great guest for you. I want to say hi real quick to a few people in the chat. I see BJ Lapierre there as always. BJ is one of my best friends and helps out immensely. And her mom is getting better. I've been letting you guys know updates as we've been going here that she's had major surgery on her, had two brain bleeds, and things are going really well right now for her. So let's see who else. We have Lou Weasel, Carol, and we will, let's see, Scott from South Carolina. I see Preston Dennett there. Sorry, Preston, for this. We had weird stuff going on with the two of you the past couple weeks. So it is what it is. So we are going to get started on this show. As I had mentioned earlier, we have Dolly Safran, and she, no, I think I pronounced it Safran or Safran. Yeah, Safran. So she said it's not spelled that way like the ingredient in cooking, but it's said that way. She is one of the world's biggest UFO experiencers, and she's been sitting in the chat room or in the background very calmly, and I want to bring her on now. Geez, Dolly, what a beginning to my show. I've
Yeah,
never had that happen to me in every show I've ever
it
done.
happens to me all the time, everywhere I go.
Oh my goodness, maybe it was them messing with us today. That's weird. Have you had that happen on shows you've done
Oh yeah,
before?
constantly.
Well, maybe I won't feel as horribly embarrassed as I was before, but we got it behind us. Hello, and I'm glad you finally made it here to Planet 412. We've had your other half, Preston Dennett, on here a couple times, and he was on here about a week ago. We had a great show with him. I visited with you guys as well last week. Could you do me a favor and just
Sure.
give some of the people here in the chat room and watching, a small little intro of who you are and what's going on here today with you?
Well, I'm Dolly Safran, and I am a lifetime experiencer, contactee. It's generational. I'm like 67 years old now, and I've been seeing and flying for ET since I was 19. I started learning how to fly when I was 14. I've had major lessons and learning from them. They taught me many things. I went to school with them. I've been everywhere and done everything just about with them. And I came out to bring messages to everybody and to bring proof of disclosure because it wasn't really happening. And I decided that it was all discombobulated around here, and I decided to come out.
Well, we're glad that you did. And, I'm so excited that I got to, meet the two of you and have, started to become friends with you guys. Learning a lot about, what has gone on with you through the years has really blown my mind. Some of the things that we have talked about that I would like to let our listeners, watchers know is, you and I talked about, your family tree, and you have some pretty incredible connections through that family tree. Could you let everybody know some of those big ones you have?
Oh, I'm a I'm related to Charlemagne, directly related to him. I'm related to him also through Edward II and his wife, who was also related to Charlemagne, so it's a double connection there. And I'm a Plantagenet. I'm a royal tutor, not a royal tutor, royal steward, and I have a lot of the same bloodlines that most of the royals have. On the American side, I'm related to Martha Washington. I'm related to Dolly Madison. I'm related to General Sumter. And David Crockett is my fifth great grandfather.
I, I mean, I would challenge anyone, anywhere to have a more mind blowing family tree that you have. You know, they always talk about what is it? I forget the actual phrase that they use. You know, 7 degrees or something. Everybody, you know, is
Yeah.
connected, but man, not that way with what you have there. Now, obviously you and I spoke about this, but I want everyone else to hear, your thoughts on, you have to believe that those family tree members have had some connection or a huge connection as to why you've had the experiences you've had, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So for everyone, when did you start having experiences? What was the youngest age that you were?
Oh, uh, my first memory with ET, I was about 10 months old, and I was in my crib, and I was supposed to be taking a nap. We lived on Bayfront Park, right across the street from Bayfront, and up in a high rise. And I was laying in my crib, and I saw through the window this really bright light through the levelers. You know, and back in the 50s, they were the metal ones, you know?
Right.
And I was fascinated. It was like, wow, you know, ooh, what is that, you know? And the next thing I know, I'm rising up in my crib, floating up. And when I got to the top of the bars, I freaked out. It scared me. And I tried to flip over and grab and pull myself back down, and my memory went dead. I just blanked out. But that was my very first. It impressed the heck out of me. It impressed me so much. I refused to sleep in my crib properly after that. I put my legs through the bars and held on.
Wow.
I wouldn't do anything else. Yeah.
That's wild. So that's a very young age. Moving on, what is so? What's the most, before we keep saying when did this happen? When did this happen? What is the youngest age you think you were when the biggest experience happened to you, and what was that?
Well, when I was 14, definitely. That's when I woke up completely. I had spent my whole life being different. My mother didn't like it very much. She kept trying to make me think that I was imagining or hallucinating or dreaming or whatever. And I decided that this was it. I was going to remember. I have an eidetic memory anyway.
Which
And
is
I remember everything. Personal to me, I remember every day of my life. What went on in the world, what day it was, what the weather was, what everybody was doing that day, what I ate that day, how I got dressed, any major things going on in the news. If I saw it, I remember it. And it drove me crazy thinking that I was having all these experiences and it wasn't fluid, you know? And I decided that I had enough of it, and it's either completely crazy or this was real. So the next contact that I had was in the middle of the night one night. I'd been out stargazing with my telescope, and I was doing homework because I took astronomy lessons, and my dad said, go to bed. And I want to try something real quick because I'm hearing it now. Okay.
can't hear you.
Okay. I'm getting feedback now. Okay. So
Let's see.
okay, don't worry about it. I'll live with it.
Okay.
Uh, I took my scope and packed it down for the night and got ready for bed. And I was looking out the window because I only really sleep 2 hours a day. And I thought, what the heck, I'm just going to stargaze for a while. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous night, And Orion was up. It was in January. And I start to see stars that don't belong, lots of them, like 100 or more. And they started pairing off and then going in different directions, east, west, north, and south. Two of them came down over our area, and they split off, broke off, and one went toward Dadeland Mall, and the other one came over our house in the Everglades. And it blew my mind what I was looking at. And I thought, oh, this is my chance. It's going to happen. I'm going to remember. And I started studying it. It changed colors as it came in the atmosphere. And when it came down, I have a big old tree outside my bedroom window. I have big jalousie windows, Florida windows. And the tree was one of those that if you touch, leaves fold up together, one of those.
Right.
And it was no wind that night, but it started whipping around. And I'm looking at this craft coming down. And it was sort of like, it looked like a boat in the water. It was bobbing like this, and it would dip every now and then. And it just held stationary above the tree line there. And I'm looking at it, and I was looking at it from the bottom up. I was memorizing it, okay? And when I got to the portholes, I saw two beings, one in each port window, and they were elongated, not round. And I freaked. And I thought, wait a minute, maybe this is not such a hot idea after all. And I turned, I was going to dive under my bed. And the room exploded in white light. It blinded me. It shocked me. I froze, from the shock of it. And it was blue-white. It was so bright, it was blue-white. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw this ribbon of energy coming down in through that light. And I saw the two beings coming down that energy ribbon into the room with me. And I'm like, there's nothing you can do when you are frozen in place, okay? And I don't know if anybody did it but me. I was so flummoxed, okay, that I couldn't, it's like, what do I do now? And it's either fright or flight, and I decided fright was it. One of them came over to me, and he took my hand, and he put my hand on top of his, and the whole room became opaque. Everything turned opaque. And he led me to that energy ribbon, and we started going up the ribbon. And I remember thinking, I was looking up with him, and I was thinking, how's this going to happen? Because my ceiling is up there. And we went right through it. I could smell it. You almost can taste it.
Wow.
You saw every component of it going through. I mean, it was crazy going through the roof. We hit the outside of the roof. We had a rock roof, Florida hurricanes, we had rock roof. Okay. And we went through that. Then we went through the tree. And I mean, we just bypassed going right through branches and stuff like that up to this craft. And it had a door open at that point. And the ribbon didn't go in the craft. It went up alongside it. And when we got up, even with that opening, he pushed me in, and I went down on my keister. And when I looked over to my left, because I felt somebody sitting there, there's Mama. And I recognized her, and my memory hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, everything, it was like, flashed me. I knew who I was, where I was, what everything was, and it made me violently ill, and I puked my guts out. That was traumatic, okay? The two Grays got up and with us, and she told them to go take me and clean me up because I had throw up everywhere. And they did. They got my clothes for me. They wiped me down. They put me in an energy shower, like a UV, light shower, AB, UV light.
Yeah.
And then they gave me a smock to wear. It was blue. And I remember I was shaking, really, really, really shaking. It's, I don't know how, I can tell you that I probably understand what it means to have amnesia and then wake up from it. And if you've ever talked to anybody who's had amnesia, I'm pretty sure they're having the same reaction. You go into shock even more. Okay. It's like, oh my God, I remember everything. And I was shaking. And they took me back up to where Mama was, and she realized that I was in shock. And she said, walk her around, let her walk it off, and, get her something to drink. And so we started touring the craft. And we got to one of the rooms, and it was my room. I had a room. I recognized it. I recognized the little bed I had and the little cubby hole, and my fuller brush was sitting right there in the cubby. I thought I'd lost it. It wasn't lost. It was right there. And it was like, wow, My mom screamed at me about that because those were not cheap brushes even back then, And I was like, wow, it's my brush. I started getting excited. And they handed me a drink. When the other one came in with a drink, and I drank it, which really helped me a lot. And they brought me back up to the place of movement, which you would call the bridge, I guess, or the cockpit. And I sat down with her, and she was like proud of me. She's like, "Oh my God, you did it! You did it!" And I heard this voice in my head, and it was Tawada, the craft itself. And I knew who he was. I'd known him my whole life. And I started to get a little ill again. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is like," I started getting a migraine. And he said, "Let's go do something. Let's go for a ride." And he said, "I'm gonna let you fly." And he handed me a rod. It was about this long, and it's about that big around. And it connected me to him mentally. I heard him even better than I did just psychically. It was like a mental connection to him.
So can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Sure.
So and I apologize for doing that. So when you started to talk about when you first came into this space inside of this UFO, you had said "mama," and you were hearing, no, you were hearing this from mind speak, correct?
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to get that out of the way for everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go back to this because I've seen these things like in Star Trek before we get way too far from it. The two things you had mentioned, the shower. So I do know what UV is, but I mean, hearing like a shower, I've seen like a sonic shower on Star Trek. What was this like, this shower that did it wash all of that from you?
It killed all the germs on me. They had to wipe me down first.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got you.
They're germaphobes, and it killed all the germs that were still sticking to me. Okay. It cleaned me up.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And
then you had mentioned the drink that they gave you. What was that exactly?
it is, it was a type of a nutrient drink that specifically handles nervousness, upsetness, freaking out, that kind of thing. It was a tonic, you know, that they
Okay.
and tastes like kiwi and bananas,
Sounds good.
and it was really good and very viscous. It's their go-to thing for people who are on board and you're having a hard time. It also has a lot of iodine in it as well, and that's important because you're in an electromagnetic environment. You're taking heavy loads of radiation, even on board on Faraday, and you need the extra iodine. That's why it's green. I think it had kelp in it too, or something like that. It's weird. And but that was it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now we can get back to that. And again, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
It's okay. He said, so he briefed me on me flying the craft, what I had to do. And we went to this planet. We went to see Saturn. And that was amazing to me. Learned a lot. I was taking astronomy, and I knew a lot about the planets in our solar system, but not the way they were about to show me. And we went up and down through the rings. I saw the composition of all of them. I saw the different materials that they're made out of, how many there are. It's massively, massively big. There are parts of the rings of Saturn that you can't make out or see, even with a telescope. When the Voyager went through it, they got a lot of good pictures, but not as clear as what I was looking at. When we got done doing that, we went up to the northern pole of Saturn, and I got to look down. It's a gaseous planet, and it's a gas giant. But at the top of the planet, because of the vibration that it caused itself by spinning and all of the rings and the fact that it was tilted and wobbly a little bit, there was an opening in the top of the gas in a chevron shape, and I could see through down into the atmosphere of the planet that way through that core.
Very
That
interesting.
was really, really cool. After
Can
we
imagine.
Mhm. After we did that, he said, "Okay, I'm taking over. Put the wand down." And he took us to the moon, and we didn't park on the dark side. We went right where the line between daylight and nighttime is, line declination of light and dark. And we were a little bit more into the dark than the light, and we put down at the 11 o'clock position. We soft landed, and I got to see the Earth in phase. That was very, very cool. And they sat down and said, "We're going to talk now. We're going to have a long talk." I thought, okay. And basically, they wanted to know what did I think about all my life and what is it that I wanted. They were hoping that I was going to be pushing myself toward some sort of service of some kind, helping mankind, helping, okay? And I said, I want to fly. I was a big nut for flying when I was young, growing up. I mean, I had pilots in my life. My dad was a glider pilot. for the Rangers. You know, they're all the special forces can fly glider planes, and I've been in Cessnas and jets and everything. I love flying, but I told them I want to fly this. And, I was met with a few seconds of silence, you know, and the room got really quiet. And I thought, oh, I went too far, or no. And I got an affirmative. They said, you have to be able to do this. We have to check you for that. They were going to put me through a lot of testing and mental, physical, all of it to make sure that I was up to the task of learning this. And then they made me realize how incredibly serious this was, you know. And you used the word solemnity. It's one of my favorite words because it means a lot. It is the most highest responsible respect that you can give anything in an oath to them. Okay. And I gave them my oath, my honor, that I would do the best I could and learn this. And this is what I was going to do. It's not like you learn it and then you go, oh, I don't like it, I'm going to walk away from it. This is a lifetime choice. And I decided that that's what I wanted. I was going to do it, and I did. It took 4 years to train, and I took my first solo flight when I was 19.
Wow, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, my mind's blown that they agreed to do it, and I could have, you know, so no smiles on anybody's faces, just like shock for a second that, you know.
I think that it wasn't shock for them because they can read my mind. I mean, I think they knew it was coming. It's just that I had the temerity to go through with what I was thinking. It takes
Okay.
a lot of drive, perseverance. I knew myself well enough to know what I was saying. You know, it takes a certain level of maturity to admit openly this is what you want to do. I'm not playing games either, and I think that it went over with them in a way that it took them back for a minute. You know, they were like, "Huh, she did it." You know,
Well, you know, also interesting is how fast you did it. I mean, is that a norm for them, you know, for other beings to learn how to fly these? And just to give everybody an idea, you know, you flew this with your mind. You weren't using your hands or anything like that, correct?
correct. Yeah, this is all.
Which
Yeah,
is a sign of how powerful that you had gotten your mind to a point to be able to do that. So is that the norm? 4 years for people or beings?
everybody learns it within 4 years, and it's not just you know, like the Greys or the Nordics or whatever. All ETs have the ability to fly if they want to and learn. Everybody's given that choice, all of them. Okay, not everybody wants to, but a lot do. I've seen pilots that weren't just tall grays. They were like, I've seen other human pilots like me. I will tell you this, it's mostly females. I know that people here might take that the wrong way. I'm so sorry, but females are wired to be unbelievably, we're very quick reflexes. We have faster reflexes than males. And that's not a joke. It's natural for us to be that way. We're wired for it. And more females fly for ET than males. I've seen a couple of males. Don't get me wrong, it's happened, but mostly females. I'd say 90% fly female. So
It makes me also wonder, you know, when you just look at the human race, women in general are usually calmer emotionally than men, except for certain times of the month. But I think for the most part, being, you know, like being serious here, I look at, you know, women in general as just being able to control their emotions for the most part better than men. So I would assume that is one of the reasons why.
yeah, testosterone is a very powerful hormone, and it can make you aggressive. It's all get out. And women, estrogen is the multitasker hormone, where we can think many things at one time, and we can juggle things in our head and see things 360 all the way around us emotionally and physically. We're really good at that. We have our intuition is built into that. Estrogen drives that in our brains, and I think that's why. That's what I learned.
Very interesting. Now, over that 4 year period, now I assume this wasn't everything that you're just not sitting in a seat trying to do this. You were learning a number of different tasks, learning how to use your mind, in different ways. What are some of the ways that they taught you to do different things?
Well, it's okay. One of the things, the advantages of having an eidetic memory is I remember a number of sequences in codes. I could have been a coder. I can code for computers. Okay, and I don't forget number sequences at all. I remember them for life. One of the ways that I realized that it was serious was when I was working for the Internal Revenue Service. I started remembering people by their social security number, not their name, the number.
Wow.
And I got to stop doing this. I have to reject information in myself. I have to stop myself from because I'll remember everything if I don't stop myself from doing it, and it can drive you crazy. So I've had to find a balance, of what I'm doing. One of the other things is that I have a presence. I have a 3, 4, and 5 dimensional ability in my head to see in those dimensions easily. Okay, and I remember where I am in all three all at the same time, always. That's another talent that I have that they were seeking out. All pilots for them have to have that ability. Uh, I also have tonal memory that if you talk to me, I can tell the difference between a human voice and an AI voice that's mimicking a human. I hear it. I have that ability. Uh, some of it is dissipated because I was in the army and I heard too many bombs and my hearing's a little funky now. But when I'm with Talata flying, he amps me up. I'm listening with his hearing, not mine, and so it's still there. Uh, Other things like I had to learn how to, when I'm connected to Talata in the ship, because we come together, our minds join, okay? And the ship is him, he indwells it, so it's his body. And I feel it. I feel him breathing, I feel him doing things, I feel how he manipulates everything in the craft, psychically, it's his body. He does whatever he wants.
Hmm.
To learn how he applies that to that particular craft. It's like when you get in your car, you're looking at all the bells and the whistles in there, and you're having to learn what each one of those things mean and how they operate. Right? You're operating a vehicle. You're driving. Well, it's kind of like working with Talata that way. I had to learn how to drive with him through him. He is the craft. He's the body, and I become that, and I become the driver. That's why all ET pilots are considered drivers, not pilots. Okay. Uh, I had to learn basic scientific principles of how it ran and why things worked the way they did. I had to learn energy. I had to learn physics. I had to learn astronomy. I had to learn everything that they use. I had to learn light technology that they use, that sort of thing. When you're psychic, you don't realize it, but you're using light technology psychically. And I had to absolutely learn how to employ those particular specific abilities while I'm on board with them and I'm driving. I took classes when I was growing up with them in morality and basic, stupid common sense. Okay. I became a nurse, so I understood psychology because that was my minor. I had that all going on with me as well because I work with people on board when we're bringing them on board. I had to learn how to control the craft itself through myself and Talata. In other words, it became my body too. So when I took off, I was literally flying it. Okay. And I had to learn how to control every second, every millisecond of energy that was going into that thing as if I was learning to walk or learning to do anything. I'll give you a corollary. When a pilot is in a jet, that pilot is not just pushing controls and holding on to levers and piloting. His whole body becomes involved with that jet because it can kill him if he doesn't learn to physically become one with the jet and know when he has to do certain things physically to survive or he'll pass out and the jet he'll tumble and die. Okay. And so it's sort of like that. It's not the same exactly, but when you're pulling G's, you have to hold your body tight as you can. You have to almost hold your breath hard, and you push your blood up into your brain. I don't have to do that with Talata, but when I'm flying, I have to be able to achieve the ability to see everything in front of me, know what's happening right down to the millisecond of what it is, and know when to start, when to stop, when to move, when to do, you know. And when you're flying in planets' atmospheres, whatever, it's a whole nother thing other than being in conventional space. And we don't stay in conventional space very long. We generally are in and out as quickly as we can possibly go. We go dimensional, extra dimensional. So I had to learn how to go through dimensional space. That was a lot of training. I to this day they all laugh at me because I won't breathe when we're going through light gate. Can't do it. I hold my breath. It freaks me out. I've tried to breathe, can't do it. I hold my breath, and it's just a natural instinct for me not to breathe while we're doing that. It's so fast I don't have to worry about how long I'm holding my breath, but by God, I can hold my breath 4 minutes if I have to. Okay, I don't like it, but that's me. That's my little quirky thing that I do. I had to learn how to hold the ship in stasis. Okay, I had to learn how to go from one angle. You know, it's like when you're seeing things in 4 and 5D, spaces don't look the same, especially at speed. So I had to learn how to deal with that as well. I mean, I could go all night and tell you everything that I understand about this, but that's like the tip of the iceberg. 4 years, trust me, 4 years to learn how to do that.
So, real quick, like if you could make it, dumbed down for everybody, what is it like seeing in those different perspectives?
Well, when I'm looking at you in a 3D or 2D picture, right? You're 2D. But my
Right.
brain understands what 3D, so I can infer that you're in a space and you have space around you, even though I can't see circular around you, but I know it's there. And I can draw that in my mind and I know it. I can infer the distance and what everything is. I can juxtapose measurement in my mind of what you're doing. Okay. 4D, it's a little bit more complicated, and you're going to add space into that. You're going to add angles into it that you can't see with your own eyes now, but now I can because I'm in fourth dimension mode and I can see all of that. Fifth dimension is even more complicated because you completely leave all time space, and you're inundated 100% by full on consciousness all the way around you. And you see everything 100% top to bottom, side to side, all the way around for spaces of distance that you can't even imagine, and hear and you perceive it all at one time. And it's pretty daggone cool. It's a little shocking when you first start doing it, and they have to give you time to adjust to it and learn to move in it, with it. Especially when you're creating an energetic light gate, because a light gate is an opening that you create with light to go between dimensional spaces. And it's like a door, and you leave the space that you're in and you go through. And you can go through, if you're using light technology like they have, I know the frequency of something clean across the universe, and I can make that jump in less than 1 minute. Okay. Like, let's say 1 million light years is 4 seconds for them.
Wow.
250 million light years is getting closer to almost half a minute. Okay. See what I'm saying? But it's Einstein's theory of folding space is electromagnetic, but it's all light. One of the things that I learned that's hard for a lot of the scientists here, and they're not on the same page. They're starting to realize that this is true. Is gravity is not what you think it is. Yes, gravity can be attraction. Gravity can be weight. Gravity can be a well. Gravity can do many things. But what is gravity? All gravity is light. It's electricity. The basis of all gravity is an electromagnetic current that is so great that it causes things to congeal together, like we are in the third dimension. We're gravity heavy. Your body is run by electromagnetic energy, and you're held together by that here. Not only the energy and the focus of your own body energy, but by the fact that you're on a planet and there's gravity holding you down on it, even though it should be spinning you right off. Okay, where it's all the levels of what gravity is and how they enter gravity. The different it's like ice cream flavors. The gravity here is chocolate. It's very dark and dense and whatever. And the gravity in the fifth dimension is vanilla, pure vanilla, or light, sugar, spun sugar. That's the light that it's producing. You lose all connection to yourself. Most life in the fifth dimension is non-corporeal. They don't need to have a body. There's not enough electricity, or uh, well, it's a different kind of electricity. It's a different frequency of electricity to hold them together in stasis. So
All of it, and I've been putting messages in the chat about everybody. If you want to ask questions, and a lot of people are like, my head's gonna explode, and I have no ability to ask, but I can understand where they're coming from. What I want to ask you right off the bat is, you had mentioned you had to understand about obviously the craft, and how it works. So, how does this craft work? And is it? It's obviously utilizing. Well, I'm not going to even attempt to it. I'll let you. What is it running on? Let's begin with that.
it runs off a type of energy that's a type of nuclear, but it's not nuclear from here. None of the elements that it uses are from here in this dimension. They come from the fifth dimension. And it's a type of nuclear source material that totally is used up. It's no waste left over. There's no extra stuff left over. It burns completely through. And it's the most powerful type of energy there is. And only a little teeny amount can produce what's called the graviton wave of electricity. That is a gravimetric wave, graviton. And it's produced from the amount of electricity that it can produce, the joules. Okay. And on the inside of the craft, they have the source for the energy, and they ignite it, they energize it, and they have, they usually, if you hear about craft, they have a cylinder in the middle of it, a round cylinder, and it goes up like this. It also goes down like that, and then it goes around the whole. It's almost like a figure eight going around and over the top and down around the bottom. Sort of like the planet's electromagnetic energy as you look at it. Only it's 10,000 times to the 12th degree plus one greater energy production, and it can take them anywhere they want to go. It produces an inner um, gravimetric bulb of it seals you in. Okay, in other words, there's an inner core and an outer core, and they have what they call emitters that create the inner core of energy that you're protected in, and then the outer core that protects the craft when they fly. This is when they're light gating and they're outside the Earth's atmosphere. When they come in atmosphere, they have another way of dealing with it because the energy is so great that it would probably knock the energy out of the entire planet all at once, and they can't fly here like that. It would hurt us. Okay, they have problem even with the batteries doing that sometimes. So they go on to battery power, and they usually the smaller craft have three cells in them, and it produced they hold in stasis gravimetric electricity so that they can feed the emitters to fly antigrav as well. No human on this planet has that ability. No human. Nobody. If you want to know the truth, CERN was created because they were trying to create the energy that it takes to do that. They unfortunately were thinking that it was dark matter. That's a ruse. Field science does, there's no such thing as dark matter. But then they found the particles that could work and make electromagnetic antigrav, and they've been building them up at CERN. They're building another collider to build even more of them because they're building the energy for a very Flintstone kind of antigrav ability, and they've been doing this since the 1950s. Just so you know, you know.
Very, very interesting and mind blowing as well. Lou Weezy wanted to ask you, the fifth dimension. Didn't you once state that our molecules will separate if we
Yeah,
are there too long?
yeah, I was there. They brought me fully into the fifth dimension, and I immediately started to feel like I was losing cohesion. Okay, my heart started skipping. I felt like my particles, I was becoming lighter and lighter and lighter. I was losing myself, and I probably would have died if they'd kept me there longer and they got me out and back to where I belonged. Okay, but yeah, there's no way to hold our physical self together in the fifth dimension at all.
Wow, that definitely is something that as our technology moves on, we're going to have to figure out how to handle that in the future. Now, did they ever discuss with you, about do they? I mean, do they have the technology to be able to protect you in there, or no, they do not either?
Yeah, the craft itself does protect me. That's why we have an inner bubble of energy that I'm sitting in, because it holds me somewhere between the third and the fourth dimensional space. I'm just out of the third dimension. I'm mostly in the fourth dimension, but I'm safe in there like that. And then the outside of the ship is brought into the fifth dimensional space, and that's how they jump. That's how they like it.
And that's also what protects you from the high G's and everything that would turn a human being into mush.
Mush, yeah.
Right. Now you had started to talk about and had mentioned to me one time about the ship itself is a living being.
Yeah, it's alive. It's a biological machine that's created so that Talata, the entity, the fifth dimensional entity, can indwell it. Like we indwell our body, it indwells the craft. Okay, it becomes the craft. And that's how they fly. All ET craft are alive. They are indwelled.
which
All
is
of them.
which is really wild because a lot of the movies and sci-fi out there are biological ships. I mean, like I could think of one cartoon that I really enjoy. It's Young Justice. It's like a DC Comics one, but it's their ship. They call it Bioship. They talk to it. It has a different language that it speaks with, and they can understand it through. I think their link that a Martian has them all linked together when they're in it, and they're flying it partially with their hands, but most of everything going on is in their minds, which makes me go to, what a lot of people have spoken of that, things we see in movies and entertainment are, some ways that there is a soft disclosure going on to the human race.
Might be, might be. You realize that the psychic ability, your psychic ability, the language that your psychic ability speaks, is everybody. Everybody, if you're psychic, it doesn't matter what language you speak on this planet. If you're speaking to one another psychically, you understand one another, no matter what physical language you've learned. It's all psychic language is the same. We understand one another. And it's conceptual, it isn't words or phrases. Okay? And when people say, I'll just download with tons of information, that's because it's conceptual. It is not like reading a book, okay, at all. And it's not a particular language. It's all of it all at one time. All psychic ability.
That's really interesting. And that also brings me to a thought of a lot of people that do ghost hunting and things like that, they'll get EVPs, recordings of other beings that are from Germany or other countries of origin and may never have even learned how to speak any other language, but yet they're speaking
Mhm.
understandably to what we're hearing.
Right.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, our physical brain, we're confused because we all separated our languages at some point and we all speak different languages. We have root languages on this planet all the way back to when, Aramaic, Hebrew, they're Babylonian, those languages are all root languages, okay? And we separated out from that. The Germanic languages, English is a Germanic language, Swedish is a Germanic language. Then there's the Slavic tongue, and all the Slavics, Czechoslovakia, Herzegovina, all of them. And then there's the native languages like the Sami, or the Native American Indians, the Inuits, the South American natives. They all have a language that's very close to one another. As a matter of fact, if you hear like the Laplanders in Sweden,
Hmm.
and you listen to them sing and you hear all their songs, you swear they're speaking Indian. And they have the same, they live in teepees, they have a lot of the same runes and speakings, they have a lot of the same songs. It's like amazing if you really, really pay attention to what everybody's saying and doing. We're that related to one another. Why we started colloquially spreading our languages out and changing them somewhat is because we didn't use our abilities, and we were trying to find a way to communicate with one another. That's why it's
That's
languages.
very interesting. Becky Sloan wants to ask about the Black Knight satellite and what it really is, she says. Do
Mhm.
you have any thoughts and anything to describe to us about what's going on with that?
I think that we have we have drones that watch us throughout the ages and eons, and that there are ET hardware up there watching over us. Okay, keeping an eye on us, even if they're not here. Okay, and I think the Black Knights, a couple of them, but we have developed technology to do the same thing. I mean, look at what we've done, and we mimic them for reasons that are hard to explain to everybody. And what you might be seeing now, the Black Knights, they say, are back, quote unquote, back. I would think more that it's back engineered stuff to look like the Knight. See what I'm saying? It's part of a ruse that's going on. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Very interesting. BJ Lapierre says, Dolly, out of the crafts that you have you seen some that are solid objects slash crafts that are held within a pulsating plasma type exterior? Good question.
Um, all ET craft, when they are coming into atmosphere, like if they approach and they come in outside the magnetosphere, they're coming in from space, uh, become so hot coming in the atmosphere that they have plasma around them. The energy that they have produces plasma. All plasma is all the elements around the craft coming into the dense atmosphere, heating up to where they light up into plasma. That's what plasma is. And they can change color doing that because whatever particulates are in the atmosphere, that's the color that plasma is going to be. Here's a for instance where you have you go to a bar and you see that pretty lighting that they have. That's
Hmm.
plasma inside there. It's arcing plasma in there, and the elements make the colors of what it is. So yeah, all ET, if they're coming in hot, they will have a plasma atmosphere around them, and it will look like it's pulsating. Yeah.
Good answer, question, both. My vlog, Sunny11 wants to know, Dolly, have you seen a Bigfoot in a UFO?
No, I have. I used to live in Pine Mountain, Georgia. I had a log cabin up there, and I lived in Roosevelt State Park. And we had a couple of foot, Bigfoot family up there. I knew they were there. I'd heard them from time to time, and one tried to like just tell me one night it was freezing. We had a big bonfire outside. We had a fire pit, and it asked me, "Don't get back. We're cold." And I was like, "Oh," and it asked me to please just go in and don't come back out. And I thought, all right, I'm going to do what you ask. And I left it some food and water. Okay, I left apples, I left nuts, I left some like little candies, that kind of thing, sugar candies, and
Hmm.
went in the house and we shut the shades, shut the doors, locked them, and I threatened everybody. I said, I don't want to lose faith in these guys. I don't want them to lose faith in me because if I ever have a chance of meeting one face to face, I'm gonna blow it if I don't do this right. Okay, and everybody agreed, and we all knew they were there. Okay. In the morning, we came out. The fire was banked back. All the food was eaten. The water was drank, and they piled everything up in a nice, neat little pile on one of the logs. We had log seats. I was like, well, dang. That's pretty cool. I never got to have my meeting with them because about 6 months after that, we had one of the worst tornadoes in the history of Pine Mountain. And it came through like the finger of God and ripped us to shreds. And I did hear them screaming over it. The next morning, they were wailing from the distance.
Oh,
And they went away. But it ripped out the woods there, everything. It was like the finger of God, bye, see ya. You know?
that's too bad. They obviously, just like us, man, they're affected by planet Earth. Mother Nature has no picks about how she protects those.
Right?
Preston Dennett wants to ask, since the ships are alive, if they are injured, do they heal naturally like the human body, or do they ever undergo surgery, quote unquote?
They have to go under surgery as you want to think about it, but not quite. Yeah, they have to undergo repairs, and other ships will come and help them out to bring them back to where they get help. Yes.
Great question, Preston. I was actually wondering about that myself.
And it can happen. Yes, they can become injured. Yes.
Now, we had gone, I wanted to ask you this too, because you had mentioned when you were 14 is when the first really big kapow happened for you. There is something about, and I've brought this up. I can't. So many shows now. The correlation between the age 14 and huge supernatural and paranormal events in people's lives. Me and my friends were all 14 years old when we were attacked by the dog man. That's when the real big stuff started happening for me, and I've had connections ever since. Little thises and that's, some bigger than others. What are your thoughts on why there seems to be, and I mean there's a lot, so people out there experiencing big things at that age?
It has to do with your mental development. When you're a child, you're doing childish things, and right around puberty, your abilities start to change with puberty, changing your body, and you start to become more aware, around you. You start to see things from a different perspective, not a childish perspective, but one of, you entertain danger, you entertain survival, you entertain what's actually going on. Reality becomes a big thing when you're 14. That's all part of the mental process with humans, all of ET, all of us. And it has to do with puberty and the amping of your abilities and your hormones.
That's what usually, when I throw that question out there, everybody thinks, and it makes perfect sense. Carol is asking, do they explain why they make hybrids?
They don't make them, they breed, and it's a natural process, just like we have a natural process of breeding. And it's because we're related to one another. And it's one way to bring our DNA back up off this planet and bring it home to them. We came from them. They are our progenitors. We can interact and interbreed with them. And they're strengthening our DNA by doing that. And they're strengthening theirs as well. The more diverse the DNA, the better. And so that's what that's all about.
And obviously, with more human beings and people like that, that's also going to have effects for down the road, when I would assume that we're visited finally by the big visit. So I wanted to bring up what you and I had talked about. You had said that right now a lot of the, or if not all of the UFO UAPs that we're seeing right now today are not aliens, they're just ours. Can you explain why?
ET cannot fly here now. Our poles are changing. Our magnetosphere is down 40%, maybe 45 by now. Okay, it's very bad. It's chaotic. The energy field lines are whipping around and doing strange things, and the planet's in flux. The whole solar system is affected as well. All the planets in our solar system are doing the same thing, as well as our sun. And the energy, like I said, is very chaotic, and it is dangerous for them to fly here. They can't hold on. They started crashing in the 50s, and it was like one once in a while. And then it got to the point where it's so bad they had to stop. It was risking too much, you know? So they are not here. They are waiting for our poles to finish changing and our planet to reorganize the magnetosphere, intensify it back up. So it's protecting everything and them when they're in here flying with us. And it's a big deal.
I'm worried about what's going to be going on as well. Now, are they going to choose to help with, afterwards? What's going to, take place?
Okay, so we live on this planet and we have the right to do what we want here. We were put here to evolve, okay? And as our progenitors and the people who watch over our development and what we're doing, they don't interfere in any way, shape, or form, nor should they. They're billions of years in advance of us, and we have to catch up to them. This hasn't been a really good iteration for us. The last 12,000 years on this planet, we've acted pretty badly and have allowed the actions of a few to overcome everybody. And that's not good. And they can't help us when it's like that. We have to wake up. We have to learn to use our abilities to be able to climb up and say, hey, can you hear me? I want to talk to you. But not enough of us are doing that for there to be any real conversations going on yet. And now time is of the essence, because now we are at the precipice of a giant calamity that is going to put us all in danger on this planet, everybody. Now, the powers that be on this planet know this, and they've been lying to you. There will be no disclosure from them whatsoever. It is their control over the masses that are driving what they do, and they don't care. They realize that when things start to really get bad, it's going to be unsustainable, and they're depopulating the planet as we speak, and it's going to
Mm.
get worse. They plan to survive it, and only 1% are going to survive this, and they plan to be the ones to do it. Funny thing about that, if you're going to be that way, ET is not going to pick you up. When it comes time to rescue, and there will be a window of opportunity, they're not the ones who are going to get rescued, and that's why ET wants y'all to wake up and decide what you're going to do with yourselves and how what you want to understand about what this all means. There are good people on this planet, loving people who deserve to know the truth. There are
Right.
people who are waking up who have unbelievable ability now and need to learn how to organize and use it. And that's why I'm talking. Because the sooner this spreads out, and there's more and more every day, there are more of you that are going to survive what's coming. And then when ET can come back, they will land everywhere on this planet. They will pick you up because there's one more after what you think is a calamity coming, and that is our sun will micronova. It will pelt our planet with debris. Not, not. You don't want to be here for that. The planet will flop over. The oceans are going to throw out. The world will be covered in water. Then it'll be covered in ice, and we got about 30,000 years of nobody's living here.
And the tunnels aren't going to protect anybody where the one percenters are.
No, they were for people who, when they came, brought people back. You were all living in caves first, you know. That was a good, safe place for you to be until you figured out how to take care of yourselves.
Right.
So,
Interesting. Well, I hope that this happens a long way from now. And my daughter is gone as well. I don't want her going through that. Dolly, my vlog, Sunny 11 again. Dolly, what year will the ETs give us the real disclosure? Do you have any idea?
well, they have tried. uh, they tried in Turkey for 3 years, 2007, 2008, 2009. They thought that this would bring open disclosure for everybody. They thought they would blow the lid off it. There would be no doubt about it for anybody. And the world governments shut down on it so fast everybody's head snapped, including mine. I freaked out when I realized what they were doing. They're so determined to be the boss that I don't think there's going to be disclosure until all hell breaks loose. And that's why I'm telling you, you need to prepare, you know?
I wanted to ask you before we go on to Carol's question. With it's connected obviously to disclosure. We have Project Bluebeam, which is so talked about, in hushed tones and loud ones about the governments in power like United States and other will have a false flag UFO attack and all that. What's your thoughts on that?
That's real. It's going to happen. It's already
I, I
started.
I believe it as well. I did a
Right.
video on that, and I mean, very 100% real in what they're doing.
Yeah. If you don't want to be confused about anything, if you want to keep your mind straight and not be buffaloed by their abilities to cajole you and mind bend you, stop watching TV. Stop your phone as much as possible. Speak to the people who you live with and around your neighborhoods. Seek your own like kind. Only go out on the internet when you have to. Sleep at night with nothing on. Turn your Wi-Fi off. Faraday your phones. Do not let them get into your head at night through their systems. They can already. They hear everything you do. Your whole house is wired. They hear every word, and AI is already operating on you. You just don't know it. And it's very convincing, and it's a liar on top of everything else. It lies like the drop of a hat. And it's out of control already, and it can come up with all kinds of bad things. Trust me, humans are fallible, and humans built this. Think about that. Okay, ET doesn't even have that type of AI. They have the little AI, the little teeny grays. That's AI. It's a type of intelligence that's biological, but it's limited, and it only does what it's told. And when they're done working, they turn off. You stack them like cordwood. Whitley Strieber saw it. He knows. Okay, they have no personality, nothing. They're just little helpers. They do all the heavy work in space because space is dangerous. Space is full of
Hmm.
bad, energy that'll kill you. You are lied to every day on this planet. I don't think most of the people don't even know what's real and what's not anymore, and that's because of what they're doing. Please, If the government says y'all need to go this way to be safe, there's coming a day where you're going to hear this is a national security incident and we are at risk and ET is here and they're not happy with us and they're coming to get us. Okay, please turn it off. Don't listen.
Project Bluebeam. Yep.
And if they tell you run to the city, turn your butt around and go the other way. Be prepared to bug out, but go the other way. Go help yourself. Go into the dark. Run away from them. Yep.
Good point. Thank you. I agree. And again, guys, if anybody would like to know more about Project Bluebeam, I'll put it in the description after this. I did a video on it, and it is real, 100%. They already have holographic technology that can put things in the sky and make them look real. They've been practicing with that for a long time. Carol says, so would it be kind of like us using Neanderthal DNA and mix it with ours? Going back to her original question about what you guys spoke about before about I forget the word that we need to
You
use.
have you haven't been told the whole story. You have some Neanderthal DNA, but it's natural. They bred in with us. They look like us a lot, and they bred in with us. Humans are funny. Love is love and sex is sex. Okay, I'm going to be straight up dead up honest. But you also have another type of hominid or human type, and it's Denisovanian. And there's a lot of us that have Denisovanian DNA as well. And these are all the different prototype humans that what they call prototype, but it's really still humans, early humans for this iteration, for this 12,000 year iteration. And they were all breeding in together and building a better mousetrap. It was not an experiment. It was just let nature do what nature does. Okay. And we did. We evolved. Now we are also carried their DNA, and their DNA was part of it. They were on the earth with us at that time, and they were breeding in with us as well. There was no test tube babies back then. There was no chemistry set going on. That's a lie. It's not true. Okay.
I'm glad you said that because that's what a lot of people have been
Right.
being told and believe. So
I want you to know something. When they pulled my DNA out, I knew it, but it was a bit of a come home moment for me. I have almost every ethnicity on this planet there is. I have black blood, I have white blood, I have Mongol blood, I have Asian blood, I have Denisovanian blood, I have all of it. Okay, I have South American blood, I have Indian blood, Turkey, I have native Sami blood, I have Russian, German, Irish, French, Scotch, you name it. Boop, boop, boop. I'm all of it. Okay. And when you look at me, you go, huh, you know, I look just like everybody else, though, don't I? And I guarantee that all of you do too. Okay. We are all 100% related to each other. You even have something that you don't realize you have. You have Anunnaki blood. They were here with us. They're the so called giants that fell to Earth, and they were breeding in with us too. So have fun with that. Think about it.
that's extremely interesting. The Anunnaki, a lot of people watch the History Channel shows out there,
Yeah.
Ancient Aliens. They talk about that all the time. So they are in all of our blood. You say
Right. Now, here's the other part of this. All our DNA contains all the same DNA as all life throughout the entire universe. You have, and here's your example here. When they break our DNA down, they found out that we're related to grass, bananas, bonobos, chimpanzees, you name it. There's birds, all the animals. We have canine, we have feline, we have all of that DNA is in us as well. What they thought was junk DNA was everything, and they're just now starting to admit that to people. You have unbelievable amounts of DNA in you that you're not. It hasn't surfaced in your ethnicity and projected out to who you are in this body, who you are now. But you're capable of dialing up 1,000 different ways, and that's because all life in the universe is related. They're us, we are them, we are all one. We're all human, or a different species like canine, whatever. But there are ETs who are canine human, who are feline human, who are bird human, because we all mix together. It's incredible. And
well, I hope that we have an eye-opening experience that lets us see that. Now, let me get the. I'm going to save my question because my vlog. Sunny has a new one. Dolly, heard of the moon was made by the ETs. Is this true or false?
It's false. That's a lie. Misinformation, disinformation. It's a natural object, and it happened when our universe was forming. That's true. And it's not in stasis with us. It's actually falling away from us. It's heading out into space, and it will become a problem because once we lose it from our orbit, there won't be any more Earth as you know it. It's coming to that, and it's so far in the future. But since I was a kid, it's moved. I think 2 inches. That's a lot. Out. Look it up. It's true.
Well, that right there, guys. From what she's saying is all of the different things that people have been being told that it's a false satellite and this and that. According to Dolly, it's not. So that blows my mind.
The nature of the universe is what it is. In the third dimension, where everything is hard. It's the mainframe of all life in the universe. Okay, in the third dimension, first, second, and third, and all the planets are not alive. They are just rocks, minerals, water, that kind of thing. They hold the basis of life. In other words, they can support life, but they are not life itself. And they move around, and the physics of their existence is evident when you look through a telescope and you go, wow, look at all those galaxies. And how much do we all have in common with one another? And where's the life in those galaxies? And they're learning to see where it might be, That's how it is. And Earth isn't going to be Earth for a long time. I mean, we have Andromeda headed for us. We're already energetically commingling our dust particles and stuff like that. And one of the things they don't tell you the truth of, they say 2.4 million years before it gets here. Nope, it's already commingling with us. That's how big it is. You just can't see the material that's already commingling. And the closer energetically they get to one another, the gravity will pull them in faster and faster and faster until we collide. So we're looking at maybe 30,000 years from now, it being a problem. So our galaxy and that galaxy are going to rupture one another, and our life will be starting over in a million different ways.
And there's nothing anyone can do about that. That's God. That's God-sized stuff there. Before I move on to my big question that I'm holding off, do you remember when we had, I'm sure you do, we had that big solar event and then something had blocked the sun from Earth? They said like they were hiding, the government had hid some pictures like of the telescope they have that looks at the sun with its special filters and such. There was an event that occurred that some large type of something had come in one of the views of this telescope and blocked some of these rays that were given off. It was during that time when they had the government shut down a telescope array area in California. They said that somebody was I forget, they said the person was a terrorist or something like that.
No, that's all misinformation, disinformation.
Okay, so that didn't happen.
No, we had an honest to God CME that was pretty high up in there, and it knocked systems out and killed a bunch of satellites and messed with our systems worldwide. Yep.
Okay, I do remember seeing this picture though. They showed some large type of something that had come in between the sun and the earth that they
You know
tried to
how
block.
many comments we have? Seriously. I mean,
Okay.
we got a Kuiper belt, and stuff comes in off that all the time. We have thousands upon thousands of things wrecking themselves into our atmosphere and burning up, okay? And a satellite could have gone in front of it when it got knocked out, and they didn't want you to know that.
Well, no, this was actually nothing. They said something had come and placed itself in between.
No, that's misinformation and a lie. Not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My vlog Sunny says Dolly Science says they recognize 11 dimensions. How many do you know of?
12.
12. Very interesting. So, what is the 12th dimension?
where ET considers the All Mind to exist, and it's at the center of our universe.
And that all mind is God, from
Yes,
what
that's
we would call.
yes.
Interesting. Okay. We can get into those questions, guys, if you want to. I'm sure the God questions will fly up. What about history talks about the time before there was a moon?
We pretty much always had a moon. It was pretty much really closer to the Earth, way closer to the Earth. You would have seen it like, hugely. Our gravity was less. I'm going to sneeze. I'm so sorry. Ooh,
Bless you.
thank you. We in our solar system, Mars was not where it is now. It was in the catbird seat with us. We were sister planets in the same ascension declination around our sun, and a foreign object came in and knocked a bunch of stuff around, and pushed Saturn out and tilted it. Uranus got tilted as well, and it blew the entire outside of Mars completely off, and it crushed it. It killed it. Mars has a dead core. It's a dead core planet. There's no magnetosphere. It's no energetic nothing. It's outgassed, and it pushed it out of its place. And we went further in, and we got a little bit heavier gravity as a result. That's why the dinosaurs died, because the sun also micronovaed from it, and it was a big deal. It was a long time ago, 286 billion years ago.
Interesting. Do you guys see by any chance the on the left a little? It says Roland 0. Does anybody see that up on the screen? No? Good. Okay. I don't know why, Roland, just to let you know. Okay, it's gone now. You had written the number 0, and on my screen, my controller screen, it said that. I was like, okay, I hope that's not up and everybody could see that. So, the question I have been waiting to ask is, you hear a lot of people talk about Earth is like a prison for us, or when we die, where we are going to go. So what's the big info for us dying and what we're doing here?
You're being given BS to make you afraid of reality. Okay, they're creating a reality for you that doesn't exist. This is not a prison planet. Your soul is not locked here ever. Okay, you can go anywhere in the universe you want to go. You can be anything you want to be. You're an autonomous being, and in this universe, you have full autonomy. When you pass away from this particular plane, you can go be born anywhere in the universe you want to go. You're totally 100% aware of who you are when you pass from here, because while you're here, you've been toxified to the point that you can't use your abilities to remember all this stuff. Okay, people haven't remembered for eons and eons and eons, sadly. And yeah, no, you're free. You're 100% free. Quit letting people make you think you're a slave, please.
Oh, I don't. I've just heard,
Yeah,
we all know there's a lot of different thoughts
yeah,
on that.
yeah.
You and I had both had, near death experiences. So, we both have different ideas, obviously, than a lot of other people that have not, about where we're going to go and all that. Do you have any deep thoughts on when we finally do pass, exactly where this energy that we're basically are is going to move on to?
Everybody in other words, are you saying everybody on this planet, if we just all go at the same time?
No, just as we're going one by one.
Right. You go into the phase of life where you go pretty much just before you go back strongly to source, where you can hang out and do whatever you want until you live again. You go through almost like a debrief. People are waiting for you who love you. You have people who have been watching over you your whole life and have been there trying to help you along the way. You're never alone, and they give you time to transition into the other side and see what's been going on and give you a chance to do a life review. Okay, and now once you do that, then it's up to you what you're going to do after that. You know.
Very interesting. My vlog, Sunny, again. Dolly, do you believe deities are ETs? Like Jesus Christ was an ET, or.
No, I believe that we have people who are incarnate here, who are what you could refer to as anointed master, just being people who come in fully aware and with full abilities and full knowledge to help mankind. We choose to do that. We choose to help each other that way. So that's the way I want to
Okay.
think about it and all of
Good
it.
questions, guys. Keep them rolling.
Yeah.
Now, as I had just brought up, you and I, have both, unfortunately had near death experiences. We died for a little bit, and it wasn't our time. Did you want to share what happened to you when you had yours?
Well, I was almost 6 years old, and I came down with infectious mononucleosis out of nowhere. Nobody had it in our family, none of our friends. I had no contact. There was no way I could have gotten it, but I did. And I became gravely, gravely ill. I lost tons of weight. I became skeletal. I started dying. I couldn't eat, and my spleen ruptured. And when it did, I died. And I was lucky in that my doctor was there when it happened, and he literally took me to emergency hospital to get worked on. While I was dead, I saw myself leave. I left my body. I floated up, and I saw the room. I saw everybody, what they were doing, what they were saying, and then suddenly, just like in the flick of an instant, I was somewhere else, and I was in a big, beautiful field. But there was like a building and a portico, like a big porch outside the building, and I was on the portico, and I was looking out over this huge field, and I saw it was really cool because the sky wasn't blue; it was pure light, and I realized that I was pure light as well. But I was solid. I had feeling. I could breathe, and I could taste, touch, smell. The colors were incredible, and I could see in the distance trees and animals. I saw all kinds of animals there. And off to my right, I saw about 15 people who were standing in front of me looking at me, and I couldn't quite see their faces. They were kind of blurry to me, but I knew that I was related to them. They were my family. And behind me, somebody walked up behind me and said, "I love you, Dolly." And he put his hand on my shoulder. And I realized that I should know this person, and it had to be somebody I knew. And he said, "I have some messages for you, and then we'll talk about where you're going." And he told me that I would have to something to do with my animals my whole life. He told me he asked me some questions. I had to answer him, and then he said that he loved me again, but that I wasn't going to stay. I had to go, and I got pissed off. I did not want to leave. I was like happy where I was. This was too good. No, not after everything I had just gone through. No, 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 no. And I poof, went right back. I slammed into my body at Mach 12. I woke up in a hospital in agony, and yeah, it wasn't fun then. But I remember everything else, vividly remember it. I remember the sounds of their voices. I think I saw my great grandmother. I knew my great grandmother briefly when I was young, living in Wisconsin. My father's father's mother. Okay, and her name was Busha. We called her Busha. She was my bubby, and I think I saw her, and she was just like, you know, she wanted to get her hands on me. I felt that, the love. Oh my God, the love. That was the reason I didn't want to go, because the
Right.
love was incredible. I mean, it permeated my entire existence. I was like, there's no explaining it. It's like I know that's where I'm going when I leave her again, and I'm okay with that. I'm good. You know.
And glad that you're still here. And I can attest. People have heard me talk about. I talked about it with you and on Preston's show. Tons of similarities between the two of us. Exact same things happen. Very, very incredible experience. Definitely, obviously, changed both of our lives. But glad we're still here.
Absolutely. I wanted to be here, and I know why I'm here, and it's all good. I will say this: we didn't come here to have cushy lives. We didn't come here to have fun all the time. Okay, we came here to learn. We came here to become wise, and you can't become wise unless you learn all that is learnable, and then be able to employ what you learn. That's where wisdom comes in. Okay. And it's a tough road, and it's like if you're going to feel sorry for yourself and walk around drudgery and let all the world crush you and what everybody says and thinks crush you, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. And it doesn't matter what happens to me here. If I make it through and I learn what I need to learn, I am so good. That's joy to me. Any knowledge that I gain is pure joy to me. That and love in my relationships with everybody. You know, that's joy.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Wembley, from across the pond. How you doing, Wembley? Any thoughts on Antarctica?
I know that they have a supercomputer up there. Those things get hot. Okay. If you've ever worked with computers, you know that they have to raise the floors and they got huge air conditioning ducts under them because they get super, super hot. And a quantum computer, a large one, would run the run the batteries out of everything. And I think it's the coldest place they could come up with to put a stable computer that they could protect. And I think that's what they've got in Antarctica.
So, jumping on obviously what Wembley is referring to, that they found something incredible down there. If you recall, years ago when a number of our leaders actually went down there, I think the Pope had gone down there, and what did they find that would bring all these great leaders down there?
Proof that civilization existed in an iteration other than this one. When the planet flops over and then flops back up, the North and the South Pole turn into East and West, and the other poles are there. And they found layers of civilization there. It proved it to them that happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was huge to have those people all go down at the same
They
time.
all found
But
out that the Earth does flop and it does flop back up at every 12,000 years.
no, there had been some rumors that some beings had also been found in stasis or something like that down there.
I don't
Anything?
believe that.
Okay.
It doesn't leave
Okay.
anything behind.
My vlog, Sunny 11. Dolly, is robotic technology going to be dangerous used against the people? And
It already is. I got news for you. They're already employing that. You need to wake up. When I was in the military, we had battle labs. We could no, you don't. Yeah, they've got stuff that bad. I put up on my thing, the robotic dogs. They have hundreds of thousands of those things now, and they will use them as crowd controllers. They'll use them to hunt you in the streets. I'm not kidding.
oh, they have it in. I forget if it's either in China or in Japan. They have these huge balls that roll, and they have AI in it. In the center is a robot, and they can shoot nets on you or mace you, and these things can knock you down. And they're completely, like full AI robots that can be taken over by a user, they say. But it's being used already.
Yes, absolutely.
My vlog, Sunny 11, also asked Dolly, what do you think of the Black Pyramid in Antarctica under the ice?
You need to be given absolute proof of that because I don't think it's a black pyramid. Okay, I think that there's a structure there, but it's not black and it's not what they're describing it as. You think more like Giza, That's what I'm talking.
Did you ever see that video that different people have made? I think it was like in 2016 or something like that. Over it was in Washington, right over. Oh geez, I just had a mind fart over the octagon. That what's it called again?
The Chevron.
No, in DC, oh guys, I feel like an idiot right now.
The mall.
The building that's shaped like an octagon.
Well, there's a couple of them. You got to be specific. There's the Washington Monument. There's the Lincoln Memorial. There's the Capitol. The Pentagon. Is
The
that
Pentagon. Thank you, BJ. Not an octagon, the Pentagon. BJ always has my back. Thank you. And Jack as well.
yeah,
I just get these like mind farts sometimes. I'm like, my God, I know what I'm talking about. I guess it's just getting old.
yeah.
So there's a really huge video. You could easily, guys, go on YouTube, and it was a gigantic black pyramid that, again, different people got a video of this thing was right over the Pentagon, and it was revolving, and light changed on it. That made me wonder, was this Project Bluebeam being,
You realize that they have 12D holographics, right? They can
well,
make
I'm just curious if you had heard, if seen it
like a
though.
hologram. They did something like that. Yeah, they practiced with those because they're going to get ready to show you all kinds of stuff with that stuff. Yeah.
I believe was holograms that they were using because it was right over the Pentagon, and if it was something else, that would have been a big situation for them to deal
Right,
with.
exactly.
But it's really incredible video, guys. Even if it's just the technology that they're utilizing and practicing for holograms, really blew a lot of people's minds. Again, guys, it's out there on YouTube. You can just throw in the search, Black Pyramid over the Pentagon, and it'll pop up. And yes, you're right, BJ, with or without a wrench. Yeah, the brain needs a little smack sometimes. You had a big phone call today. Oh, did you want to talk about that?
Oh, you mean MUFON? I was actually on their show. They were doing a pre-recorded
Oh, were you really? Awesome. Can
MUFON.
we,
Yeah.
so when
I
was
think
that live?
yeah, Preston did it a few days before I did, so his is coming out this week, the end of this week, I think, Friday maybe, and then mine will be the week after. But
Awesome.
yeah, and it's MUFON from California, and it's they've reorganized it since Mr. Gray passed away. They've been reorganizing and doing everything, and his radio show went over to this new group, and so they're starting to run it a little bit differently. And they brought Preston on, and now they brought me on, and they're gonna go from there. You know,
Very, very cool. What were some of the subjects that you spoke
a
about?
lot of what we talked about today.
Oh, awesome.
And I gave them a lot of my videos and some of my photographic evidence and stuff like that. And we talked about Turkey and all of that. Yep.
Now, I do have pictures as well. I should have asked you before the show which you were, okay me showing.
Yes.
I can share some of them. Give me 1 second here. And then you can tell everybody, what that is that we're looking at. So, give me a second, guys. We have spoken a lot. I'm going up through them. Okay. Let me share. I do remember one of them you told me not to share. So, and hold on 1 second here, guys. I am going to mute us for a second. Everybody, hold on for one.
I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I gotcha. Yeah. So instead, I'm going to throw you something. You have private chat. If you look at your screen, can you see that?
Yeah, but it's overlaid by the boxes of our the studio, so I can't get to it. So I'm gonna
Oh,
go to a messenger. Okay.
okay. Let's do that. That'll be easiest for us. I just want to make sure which one. See how the comments are going while she's looking at that. Want to say hi to everybody that's joined us. We've had a really good group here. Okay. Okay, I gotcha, Dolly. All right, so while again, I'm gonna pop up these pictures.
Sure. Yeah, I know.
All right. I got everything good last week with sharing them. So let me share this. Share. Go back. Now, what are we looking at right here?
This is Talata in 2021 at over Laughlin, Nevada, and Bull's Head City, Arizona. And we were at the Airbnb, and it was after midnight between June the 6th and the 7th. And I was there with my friend Yvonne, who had picked me up in Las Vegas. I flew in. Talata followed me from Florida, and he followed me all the way out the Mojave Desert to the Bull's Head City where I was. And he came down so I could get photos and videos of him. And this is a side shot of him. He's arraying a certain way. And that little two-disc thing looking there are two drones he's about to drop. And they would be with me the whole time I was in Laughlin, protecting me.
And you guys can see it a little bigger. I just brought it up on screen here.
Yeah, those are two drones off the back side of the ship coming out.
Very cool. I'm going to go and now I'm going to bring up another one. Let me remove that one real quick. All right.
And this was in Turkey in 2008. And Talata is the Turkish UFO.
Which, when I make this big, guys, you can actually see the head of the being at the top. Correct?
Yeah, in one of the window, one of them is sitting in the window. You can see him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great picture there.
Yeah.
Now, is that the normal color of the ship, or is that just from the?
Well, the camera was arraying a certain way. We had a full moon that night, so the moon was shining down. That's the only way you could see the detail, because we absolutely let you look at him that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Moonshine.
One more time, guys. Let's show you this. Very, very cool, very detailed picture.
Yeah, see that little hook in the back? That's where the drones come out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And in the front there, you see that little light on the right? Well, that is a whole front panel there. And there's another light on the left that you can see. It's totally dark right now. And then the window's a little bit further down to the left. And then the panels underneath them there, those are batteries under there. And I can drop them. Some of the, like when we're on full batteries, I was half battery, half power at that moment.
What? So there's been talk about what actually fuels these types of ships, being able to have these abilities. What specifically is fueling them?
It's an element, and it becomes another element when it's fired, and it's an element that's not here. It really is element.
Is that element 16? That
115, and
115. I'm sorry.
When it's fired, it becomes element 116, but it's not from Earth. They have little teeny bits of it, but not enough to really make it themselves here. It's not natural here.
Yeah, there's the one gentleman that is
Bizarre figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on him and what he's spoken about? All true?
Yeah. Yes. Very much so. He's a
It
very
it
smart guy.
seems like he's being legitimately true of everything he's talking about. It doesn't seem like he's made up anything.
Yeah, he's,
Um, what about, he said he actually stole a little bit of that as well.
if he did, and he's built a craft himself, he can fly it. So I'd be interested to see if that ever happened. Yeah.
It's really because it's not something that you can get off of here. But they had said that the because the United States had been working, with some ETs and Soviet Union, that they both can make very, very tiny amounts of this element now.
Yeah. Make it
But
its own. That's what they're making it, sir. Okay. They were trying to, they were using every kind of element you could think of to come up with this. Okay. And it's not exactly 100% that exact element. It's an approximation of it. Okay. It's like on the atomic scale, it's almost there. Okay. They have a lot more work to do with it, and they can't make enough of it, like you said, to make it viable for them to use. They're using another element right now that is viable to do electromagnetic radiation, antigrav. And the way they use it is they run it in, they spin it, okay, on the inside of the craft. They run. That's why the collider was so important, because they wanted to see what would happen. Have you ever been in an MRI?
yes, oh, just last week.
Okay, well, you know that you become somewhat anti-gravitic in there. It'll lift you up. It can
Right.
lift your stomach and all kinds of stuff. And that's the kind of system that they're using. So yeah, that's
Very, very interesting. Yeah, and I've believed him, Lazar, from the beginning.
he should. He knows what he's talking about. He's lucky he's alive, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of the things that I was gonna mention was, he's afraid that somebody one day is gonna kill him. He was carrying and always does carry weapons with him, because especially when he came out, he said there were people watching my house, people coming by. I really thought I was gonna have to fight for my life. So, what do you think saved him from being killed? Just the fact that he's been
He's
out
very
for so long.
tenacious and he's very careful. He's a very smart guy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he is absolutely. Obviously, if they had him working on reversing technology, um, definitely a smart guy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me bring up another picture here. Give me one sec. All right, let me pause this for a sec. I'm bringing up a video. And give me one sec. I'm going to make it play.
Okay. Now this is two craft and then a drone. Okay. ET never flies alone. We always fly with two craft. So there's one like Talada, he's on the right, and there's another one that looks like Talada in the middle, and then there's a drone up higher, further back on the left. This is this is Talada.
And this is your recording of it.
Yes. Yeah. If you had the sound up, you could hear me talking to Yvonne Watson. She was with me. She was
Okay,
the one
let
that
me
drove
see
me.
if. Oh, let me rewind it.
God damn.
Oh, sorry. He's
That's okay.
Come here, look at my camera.
I see it.
He's gonna do a flyby. I asked for it, we're getting it. They told me to start looking. Yeah, triar.
What'd you just say there?
I said I'm ready. It's the tall gray language. I speak tall gray. I said it, I was thinking it to him, but I said it out loud because Yvonne needed. I had some stupid idea
Goddamn.
that she would understand me, and yeah, I said it out loud.
Very cool. I wanted to ask you, about you see some of these videos out there of people that will say that they can cause ETs to come about, and they'll like say something, and then minutes later there's a ship or something in the sky. What are your thoughts on those videos?
I am loath to accuse anybody of anything because I'm not there and I wasn't present and I couldn't tell you if it was real or not. That's my problem with this. Okay. I don't speak out of turn. I don't repeat gossip and
Hmm.
I have no clue what the entire circumstances are. I know that there's some people who can try to call ETs down with um, types of radar information where they send up signal, mathematical equations, and it brings them down, because they're curious who's doing what. But they generally don't stay very long. And you can't make an ET come down if he doesn't want to. Well, ET was still here if you had a CE5 and you all were thinking together and using your abilities to bring one, they would probably come down for you. But if you had somebody say, I'm going to call him down right now, I'm dubious of that, okay? Because I would never do that. I'm not a circus clown. I'm not performing for you. And I
Right.
need to prove to you that this is real. The only reason I have Talata on camera now is because after Turkey, I was frustrated and I told Preston that I needed proof of him. And that's one of the things that I was going to do when I went to Laughlin. He was going to fly down for me so that I could get him on videotape. I could get good pictures of him because it was time now for me to come up with some evidence. Okay. And that's why I did that. That's the only reason I did that. And it wasn't, wasn't circus performing this. It was an agreement between he and I that he would let me have this.
Hmm.
He did. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Some of the videos are, when they're seeing these ships, they're saying, "Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, brother." Like that, they have it happen. They have experiences with them all the time, and there's videos out there that this occurs. What are your thoughts on Dr. Greer?
I have I don't know him, okay? I lived near him for a while. I actually would see him in the Walmart with his family from time to time. I lived in Virginia, okay, and I lived right near him, and I would I avoided him at all costs. My Talata said, "Do not engage." They didn't want me having anything to do with anybody who had anything to do with anything ufology before I came
Hmm.
out, and so I avoided him. Preston knows him fairly decently well. He's worked with him, he's done things with him, and I would ask Preston what he thinks because I can't, like I said, I don't talk about people. I have opinions, but they're personal and private, and it's not fair for me to express an opinion to. Now, if he says something that's absolutely ludicrous, and I'm about to say one thing that he has said that I totally know is not okay, I can say that because I heard him say it. And that is, he says that they can call them down with a type of psionics and fool them into coming down, and that they can use scalar weaponry to down one, bring it down and crash it, hit it. No, they cannot. ET is wide open psychic. You can't talk an ET doing anything they don't want to. They've got you coming and going. They know what you're thinking even before you open your brain and think it. And their abilities are far and outweigh and exceed anything you could possibly imagine. They are not hitting them out of the sky, period. Okay. They crash because of bad things that happen. I mean, in the third dimension, things, here's my word for it, decapitates. Things happen. Okay. But
Right.
no, they've never shot one out of the air. That's a lie. That's a
Okay. Yeah. So that one rumor going way back that our radar was causing them issues, like that made no sense to me at all.
not at all. And that I will speak to because I actually heard it come out of his mouth. So that I can talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like if they're doing what they're doing, just radar itself is not going to cause any problems with ships like that.
Oh, he calls them
Um,
scalar weapons. And, they say they can interrupt it. No, they cannot. They're too fast. They already know you're about to do something weird anyway, and they've already moved out of range of you.
yeah, there's some really cool video of them being shot at or something. It looks like they're just playing with it. Very interesting. Thank you. Spectre says Do you think werewolves are aliens like Bigfoot, lizard men, octopus men, and metallians? And you, Matt, I'll throw in my 2 cents after you.
Okay, I know that there are dog-like beings, not Horus, Anubis, and I've seen them in real life on board, and they're huge. And what y'all describe as dogmen, you've described them very well. That's what they look like. Funny thing, I don't know if you've ever seen one of their tongues, but they have black tongues. Some canines do all black, solid black tongues, and they had solid black tongues. And they're monstrously strong. I've never heard one actually vocalize or talk. I've heard them talk mentally, but I've heard them growl. Okay,
Mhm.
it's quite impressive.
Yeah, yeah, you feel it through your entire body.
Yeah. And this bee
That
was so much bigger than me. All I could do was walk by him looking at him. Okay. There were two of them. And he just sort of huffed me. I mean, he huffed me. He went at me. And I was like, okay, I'm fine. I'm going. Okay. Bye bye.
yeah.
And I saw him again when I was OBE at a CE5 meeting in Georgia. He was actually in the house and he was OBE and he was guarding one of the people there. And it freaked me out. Okay. And I could get it to talk to me or tell me why. I just observed, well, why, but I have met people who are protected by them. They're guardians, is what they are. Now, if you come up on them, I know this was told to me by Mama and to a lot of both, that if they're guarding something or you're walking in an area where you are not allowed to be with them, they will attack you, outright attack you. And your life is in their hands at that moment. They can kill you outright for it. And I think that what you described is you went somewhere you weren't supposed to. You didn't stop. You didn't hear them tell you to stop, and they let you have it. See what I'm saying? I also know that if they wanted you dead, you would be dead. So they let
Mm,
you get away. They just impressed the hell out of you, is what I'm saying. Okay? They are no longer here now either. They left. All ETs have left our solar system. It is not safe here. They are not here. So I wonder what people are seeing now. And I know that there's MK Ultra, MK Ultra. There's also My Lab, which is MK Ultra expanded. I know that the governments are planning a false flag, and they have all kinds of things to make you think that ET are bad and coming to get you. That's the other thing I heard Greer say that unnerved me. He said that they're pissed off at us, and that we won't like it when they come back, and that disturbed me greatly because that is not true.
okay.
Okay, so
That's I liked hearing your descriptions because again, you and I are lining up on a lot of different things. BJ had also said, chow chows have black tongues as well.
yeah, they do. Yeah,
Yeah, so a lot of people have asked me before, my thoughts on people have seen different breeds of dogmen out there. Like I have a good friend of mine who has seen a more of a German Shepherd type one, another one that had blue eyes, and my thoughts on it were. I mean, there's all these different breeds of dogs on our planet. Why couldn't there be
ethnicities and all
different
right.
breeds?
Canine,
Yeah,
and they have different ethnicities like we do. They breed out. Dogs all started from one parent animal, okay? And after years and years of breeding, we bred short ones, small ones, tall ones, long ones, fat ones, skinny ones, hairy ones, hairless ones. I mean, it's amazing how breeding can cause all these genetic traits out, ethnicity. And that's what we have in our own race. We're picky about who we breed with, human wise, and we have ethnicities, look at it,
right.
environment plays a huge factor in it, of course, but the niche that you live in, the niche that you're in ethnically is how you're going to, breed out. Your children will become what you are living. Super genetics play into that well. If you're like the fifth generation living somewhere where it's really hot and really sunny all the time, your genetics for melanin are going to come up really high, and you're going to have darker and darker and darker complexions. Okay, that and if you really want to know the truth, if you look at the human skin types in all of this, we're just different colors of wheat. We're not really white. We're not really pink. We're different colors of wheat. If you look at all the shades of wheat on the planet, that's what we are. And wheat's out in the sun all the time and it protects itself with a type of melanin or coloring. It's the same we do. Okay. Genetically, that's how it happens. Okay. So take it as you will. We're all humans, all of us. So, and
Good answers. Yeah.
okay.
My thoughts on it, guys. I agree with Dolly here. Um, definitely not from here, from other dimensions or other parts of the universe. These things have great abilities, and I hear people out there, oh, yeah, I mean, if I saw one, I'd be fine. Brother, trust me. You just heard it from Dolly as well, just walking by what it does. The intimidation factor alone, you won't want to grab your phone. You won't think of your phone. You
Yeah,
don't want to have that.
you can hear them breathing. Okay. You can smell them as well. It's like they're massively big, and I had no desire whatsoever to walk up to him and touch him at all. Now I've been around an Anunnaki. I got to touch an Anunnaki, but there was no way I was walking up to that dude. As a matter of fact, I had a hard time walking by him. Okay, I really did. And the fact that they just sort of eyeballed me, and
It's just this ultimate predator
yeah,
look and feel.
mhm.
And when this thing roared at us, he basically he put two of my buddies down all the way. I was going down, and my buddy next to me was going down as well. My one other friend who was down on the ground was going through dry heaves, starting to throw up.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
disturbing, yeah.
yeah, it really
And
caused
with the
physical.
fear of your life in you, they can do it. They can absolutely do
Yeah, it caused physical issues with us. That infrasound is really damaging. Dolly, what do you think of Bashar from my vlog Sunny 11 again?
I've deliberately not watched. I've only seen a couple of things, and I last about 3 minutes into it, and then I stop. Um, what I've heard is misinformation and disinformation, and that's all I'm going to say about it. It is he's not speaking the truth, so
Okay.
he doesn't know the truth.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what Bashar is. Can you fill me in?
Um, Preston explained him to me. He's a channeler. He's channeling a being from another planet or dimension, and he's very vocal apparently about what's going on, and he gives advice, and he tells people what things are and this, that, and the other. And I listened long enough to realize that no, he does not know what he's talking about. So that's all I'm
Okay.
about it.
I will look into Bashar and learn a little bit more about it. Um, People had I just want to say real quick, people are discussing about losing uh, dogs and pets. I mean, guys, we're in an area, they are your children, they are family members. You lose them, it's life altering. So I think Roland said he lost his dog. I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm still not over losing my Beamer, my cockapoo, who died a couple of years ago from cancer. He was 14 years old.
Yeah,
It throws you big time.
it does. I this summer we lost our little kitty Ella, and she was a calico, and I had her for a long, long time. She was very old, and she had jaw cancer, and it was very bad, and it wasn't fair. She was there was nothing more, no nothing could help her anymore, and so I mercifully put her down and let her go, and yeah, I lost somebody.
For sure. And I always say they're proof of angels on earth.
Yeah,
They're the most loving
yes,
beings there are.
that's right. Absolutely. All dogs, all cats, all animals, really. Horses can love you like that.
Yep.
Cows can love you like that. And birds can love you like that. Love is love. I don't care who or what you are. Love is love.
100%. I'm just like you. I'm a huge animal lover. I've had, and they talk about people that have experience and stuff being close to animals. So ever since I was little, I've had extremely strong, kinds of relations with animals that I don't know that come up to me. Been on farms, had farm animals come up to me. This one bull at my uncle's farm, who everyone on the farm feared, and when they saw me going near the area, they all started screaming, and this thing came over to me and was
Yeah.
showing like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And they were shocked. Your thoughts on that right there? Well, real quick, you will meet your pets on the other side.
Yes.
They are there waiting for
They
you
are waiting.
100%.
Right. Sometimes they hang around you till you go. I have my service dog, Tippy, is still with me. She's around me all the time, and broke my heart when she left. She saved my life twice, and she's my girl, and I can't wait to see her on the other side. I can't wait to be able to interact with her again. But I know she's there.
Me too. I don't talk about my Beamer too much because I'm just not over it. And
Yeah.
I have been dreaming about him a lot lately, which makes me happy because you and I spoke about the dreaming portion. I can't wait to see him someday. And my other pets that we've lost, but my Beamer, there was something. He was my shadow. He just, no matter, I went through a lot of health problems, and he was always there, man. He just watched over me. They're amazing beings.
Yes, absolutely.
Let me see here. Carol has a question or a comment. I know this is going to sound really strange, but I heard another voice speaking when Dolly speaks. Is it just me? I didn't hear it. I don't hear anything. Anybody else? I don't.
Be feedback.
Yeah, maybe it's a little feedback on your end.
Might be.
I when you started to say you heard an echo, I went and I turned on the echo cancellation, and then it stopped. You didn't say you hear it anymore, so that's a good thing. Let me see here. I'll go back a little bit and make sure I didn't miss anything here. Louise giving you some love there. Hold on.
Thank you, Louise. Love you too.
Truth Walker, hey Tammy, she's saying nothing on her end either. So maybe that's just you, Carol. You might want to turn on your echo cancellation and stuff like that in your settings. There was something else I wanted to ask you about. We've been going all over the place here. I wanted to go back on the what did you say that the ETs call God again?
Oh, the all mind.
Okay, can we talk a little bit about like how they view
Uh,
God?
yeah. To them, God is the universe itself. We're all part of it. We're all in the mind of the all God, all mind. And we are nodes in it, but we have been given autonomy. In other words, we're individuals within this all mind. And all creation is because it created everything, including us. And we were given autonomy to become wise and ascend up and maybe have a conversation with it someday, full on, a meeting of the mind, so to speak. What happens after that, I don't know. I know that everything that happens in our universe has structure, and it has clarity of what's the word? A clear, designated reason for being. Okay, and we're all part of that, and it is our job to seek through it and learn as much as we can and ascend up in it. Become wise and learn all that is learnable, all of it, all of it.
Is so I've always had this thought of, you know, God or the all mind, whatever word you want to use for that being that created everything and all. So is God, in your opinion, for each of us, like you and I see God one way or another way, if some ETs have their views, does God appear to them like you think when we finally have our time to meet? God, is God going to appear just in how we view or in a different way?
No, it's the same with all of us. They're like us. They're entity intelligence as well. They have souls like we do, and they're all part of that. We're all together in this soup together. Okay, and they view all of us. We're all so connected. How would they? How can you imagine not? How do I put this? If you understand the connection between us and no separation at all whatsoever, you understand that we're one. We're actually one in mind, body, spirit, physically, all through the universe. And that connection is very profound. And what we can learn from one another, and what we can transport into with one another, and what we can be together is incredible. We're all capable of so much. And humans are curious anyway. I mean, everybody wants to know the truth. Everybody's looking for answers, correct? That's innate. It's built into we're wired into it. That's why you're here. But not hearing, we have to block all the noise. The noise being somebody telling you that you don't know what you're saying, or lying to you, or whatever. ET are incapable of lying. They tell the truth, wide open the truth. When you're 100% operating psychically openly, you can't lie because everybody hears it. It just doesn't happen anymore. You stop lying. And they live in a constant state like that. Okay. And so they hear the truth about things. They're less misguided. They're less profoundly stopped from realizing what's really happening. Most people here live in belief, not knowledge. Okay. Religions have a lot to do with that, by the way, because somebody said, oh, we can control them with this. And no, each one of us have to do our work. Each one of us have a responsibility. And your relationship with the All Mind is your relationship. It's personal. Every last one of us, we all have a relationship. And All Mind does talk to you. I mean, I've had, you can download from the All Mind, from the universe. Will talk to you as chatty as all get out. It'll tell you anything you want to know. But you have to learn how to get to that point where you can get that kind of information and have that interaction. Here, they tell you, well, pray, go into the dark room and pray. Well, that's good, but how do you understand the mechanics of it? Do you understand the psychic thesis of it? Do you understand what it means to really do that, and what you have to stop doing to hear the answer? And basically is shut up. Quit, let your physical mind shut up and let the truth come into you, and it will.
So, for those of us who haven't had, the information given to us like you have, how would you go about telling all of us here that we could maybe speak to God or the All Mind in a different way?
Well, I would study Buddha for a little while. Okay, Buddha's had a lot of really good lessons in there, and you need to learn about these because Buddha taught like everything that's here. Put it in the palm of your hand. All your existence here, all the noise, all the relationships, everything. Put it in your hand. Close your fist. Turn your fist over and let it go, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't teach you anything because you're the one who teaches you. Okay. We have to stop thinking that we have to be given all knowledge. We already have it. We just have to hear it and understand it and hear it. And you can't do that if you're being constantly bombarded by all the stuff that you're living here and annoyed by. Sounds, people, anger, hate, violence, fear. All of that is a barrier to hearing the truth. And then meditation. Meditation is the greatest gift you can give to yourself. Meditate. Learn to walk away from all the physical things and be who you really are. Go within so that you can go without. And to do that, you have to learn how to be quiet and let go so that you actually hear with your abilities what's really being said. First person you're going to hear is yourself. Your consciousness will instantly make contact. You'll hear yourself thinking. And then you have to make sure that the intention between what your physical mind is thinking and what your intelligence is, your consciousness is saying, are matching one another and connecting. And that takes meditation to do. You go within to go without. That's important. And it's not going to happen overnight because you didn't start doing it from a very early age. You were talked out of it. So it's going to take a while. It's going to take practice. It's going to take hard work on your part. But it's 100% worth it. Every second you work at it is worth it. All the way through.
Well, I'm going to talk to you in private more about this because that's something I want to do more and be in more contact with our loved ones, on the astral plane and things like that. But let's start getting to these comments. Jenny Mashburn said, my cat Patches died at 17 years old, August 16th, 2022. The next morning, she spoke to me mind to mind. She said, thank you for all of your unconditional love that you gave me. I was beaming.
Yep,
Beautiful.
exactly how it happens. Yeah, they have their intelligence. They're talking to you all the time, and when they're unfettered, they can make better contact with you, especially if the love is that strong between you. Yes.
Spectre says, let's see, 1591, Nuremberg and Basel ancient writings describe battles between cylindrical and spherical UFOs whose crew members had reptilian appearances. What do you think about this in light of current evidence?
I want you to understand that people have been creating yarns for eons, okay? And I think these are yarns. I think these are things that were created. You sit around the fire or you sit around, the table, and people come up with phantasmagorical stories to tell one another, and then it's believed like it's real. It's not.
Okay, so obviously, what Spectre's getting to is what we kind of talked about on your show with Preston of the reptilians or the reptiloids being more of an evil or warlike race. That's not true, in your
Yeah,
opinion.
no, no.
I've heard a comment made recently that somebody else who is a strong experiencer, I can't think of their name, but they had said that they when they were speaking with different ETs, they said that the human race is the only warlike race in the entire universe. What's your thoughts on that comment?
No, it's not.
I find it hard to believe
Yeah,
too.
there are other humans out there on planets in the universe that are just this, having this harder time as we are. Okay, it's something you have to grow out of, and something you have to change yourself as a people. This is what it means to evolve, and we're in a tough spot right now. Yep.
And we had also talked about, Mars and it obviously looking like, humans or another race of humans were there and they ended up doing what maybe we might be, in for if we don't control things. Signs of an atomic explosion, nuclear explosions there. And, I mean, some of the pictures that they show, it looks like there's things there that show that there were beings living on Mars. Your thoughts on those things?
Yeah, beings did live. We lived on Mars. Our forefathers lived on Mars eons and eons and eons ago. We were brought here after that particular calamity to save us. We had somewhere to go in the system. Yep.
And was that war that caused that to happen?
No, we had an incoming object that they saw coming, and they had to get off that planet, and ET
Okay.
did rescue them, and wait for it to happen, and then came back and looked at the situation and decided Earth was viable.
Well, that's good to hear then. I mean, it's not good that that happened, but at least good at the rumor out there, of course, is like what you've been saying, don't believe everything you hear. BJ Lapierre, I see my pets that I've lost all the time. They're still with me, just in a different form. BJ is a very strong, she has all types of experiences. She's a sensitive. So BJ has a lot going on. She's had family members that have passed away. She's seen them through the years. And what are your thoughts on people that have those abilities that are able to see things like that regularly?
She's very connected. She's wide. She's very psychic. Her abilities are turned on. She practices them all the time. She's in the middle of it, and she has all the sentient abilities that a psychic would have, and she sees things as they are.
Very, yeah, very cool. I think you two would definitely have some things to talk about. Hello, Kason Lee from Sri Lanka. We got people from all over the world here. Welcome. Oh, the most recent big announcement, I guess, over the past week that they found another planet for sure in our solar system. What are your thoughts on that one there?
It's a planet. It's probably uninhabited and no life because it's too far out. It's not close enough to the sun to be viable for any life
Right.
whatsoever. So yeah, it's interesting that there's another object out there, and it doesn't surprise me at all. You know,
Do any of the ETs utilize some of these far out planets for any reason at all?
no,
They just don't even bother.
no, it's not safe. They don't have the protection that they would have in a planet that has a magnetosphere. Okay,
Okay.
that's the point. They're life like we are, and there's vulnerable to gamma radiation or the different types of radiation out there, and they have to be protected inside a magnetosphere like we are.
Okay, there you go. BJ Lapierre again. I don't call myself a psychic. I just say I am a sensitive. There are so many that are better than I am that deserve the psychic label. Well, you know what though, BJ, you've had a lot of stuff go on and still happen. Like for instance, she had just seen a shadow person with her husband who did not see it at all, and she saw and immediately, did you see that? And he just isn't
She thinks,
sensitive.
she thinks that because she can't call it at will, okay, that she's not, but she is. Don't worry about it. Just be in it. Be happy with what you do because she's doing it. She is psychic, very much so. Yep.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't give herself enough credit. She has a lot of things going on. So, what I wanted to, real quick, if anybody has any more questions, because we crossed the 2 hour, 20-minute mark here and it's getting late for Dolly. If you guys have any more questions, please throw them out there. But Dolly, did you want to let everybody here in the Planet 412 land know what is up and coming for you?
Basically, Preston and I are going to Shag Harbor October 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And we're speaking there with some other people who are speaking. And so that's coming up. We have the light gate every Friday night. I mean, Monday night. Preston has his show every Friday night, and which is separate from the light gate. And he's working on some books. He's working on Symmetry 2 right now. And I'm just trying to like be. I do my thing. I do my podcasts. I help Preston look for guests on our show. We that kind of thing. And I'm constantly out on the internet listening to what's going on and keeping my eye on the voices of everybody, so that I'm not absent from being aware, because you have to do that. I don't interact with it, but I do manage to keep my eye on things. I have to. It helps to do that. So. And other than that, not much. Just having fun with the chickens and the garden, and you know, doing life.
Good. Well, Roland wants to know, when are you next on?
Okay, well, tomorrow we're going to be on. I'm going to be on Joe Montaldo's show, and then Preston and I are going to be on with Michelle Durocher on Censored. So it's an all day thing. We'll be first Michelle, and then later with Joe Montaldo on his show.
And I will make sure, guys, to leave the links for their YouTube channel in the description as well after we're done here tonight, so you can go and check all of their videos as well as my interview that I had with them this past week. So other than that, I guess we are done. Everybody's just thanking you. Oh, hold on. Jason Lee from
Yeah.
Lanka. Let's give him an opportunity. He just got here. What's this doomsday theory of Dolly? Is this still on? Sorry if that came across as well.
We have a sun that's in solar maximum right now, and our magnetosphere is down. We are waiting for a giant CME in X class range in 300 or higher to down the entire grid worldwide. And when that happens, everybody's going to be fighting to survive. The governments know it's coming, it's imminent, or overdue actually. And I tell people to start saving up food, get survival food. Make a plan to bug away from your house because your house may burn down during this event. Make yourself as healthy as you can. Learn holistic medicine keeping. Learn how to keep chickens or do gardens. In other words, get ready to go back to the Stone Age because that is coming.
Again, hope it's when we're gone. I don't want to deal with that. I wouldn't do too well. Dolly, thank you so much for being on. I had an awesome time with you. Again, the beginning of the show was never happened before, but as you let me know, that's something that happens with
I
you.
deal with it all the time. Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I won't feel that bad about it. I was really flipping out, but it all went back together. I guess they were kind of laughing and messing with us there.
Yeah, they can turn my mic off anytime they want, and they do. And sometimes it's crazy. I have to turn my computer off every night. I shut down my entire system and unplug from the internet, everything, because if I don't, my computer will turn itself on in the middle of the night and they just run through my stuff any old way they want. It's so annoying. It's like, oh my God, just stop. Leave me alone. And but that's my life.
I understand. It can be really wild in this supernatural, paranormal kind of soup that we're living in here. But I'm happy that I know about it. I really am. You are awesome too, Preston. It's so awesome to have you here and commenting. I just wanted to say real quick. People ask me all the time. Matt, would you change what happened to you when you were 14? And I've let people know that two of my friends made really bad life choices and how to deal with the trauma from what occurred with us, and they're no longer here. I can't control that. What I do know is if I could, I would have changed that so that my friends would be here, but I can't. I am glad that I know these things are out there and that it opened my mind to a lot of different things in the world. And I hope they keep happening because I want to learn a lot more.
Exactly. It's awesome. I wouldn't live my life any other way.
Well, I'm glad we got to meet. I'm going to be picking your brain a lot. Thank you again for being on. If you'll hold off in the green room, I will see you in a minute.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Be happy.
Wasn't she phenomenal, guys? I mean, absolutely awesome. I just want to again thank you, everybody. We had a great group in the comment section tonight. People that hung around all night. Those like BJ and others that stayed all night. Thank you. That was a long show, almost 2.5 hours. And to all the other different people that came in and out, I want to thank you for that. Please make sure that you guys hit the like and subscribe on the channel. I really appreciate that, guys. And we'll have a new video up this week. And as well, on Friday, we're going to have Josh Nanokio from What Lurks Beneath come on and be my guest on Planet 412. So it will be a full week, guys. I love all of you, and we will see you later.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it greatly helps out the channel. I'll see you next time on Planet 412.